so we try to keep all the awnings out of the car show so people don't have an awning blow on somebody's car. And then there's a wham fist over that, and all that shit. So some of that stuff is, what we try to manage the most. But all said and done, like I said, there's a lot to think about. We've been lucky in the fact that we've never had, the only time I ever had one thing that was, we were back at Westgate and I was talking to Terry, and then the guy comes over the radio, Dino, some guy trying to break in the gate over here and there's like a fight or whatever. So I was like, shit. So I roll over in the golf cart as quick as a golf cart can go, right? I roll up and I roll up to the dude and I go, what's the problem here? What's the problem? He goes, well, I'm trying to get in here. I said, well, it's full. You can't get in. He goes, well, I know Dino. I go, motherfucker, I'm Dino. I was like,
you don't know him well.
Yeah, he was like, I know Dino. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm Dino. And then he was like, oh, well, I go, no, dude, just park it over there and walk in, dude,
Welcome to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. I am Josh Henning.
I'm Phil Gerber.
I'm Jeremy Gerber.
Welcome to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. Today's guest is Chevy truck enthusiast Dino Battilana. Did I do that one right?
Is that French?
Yeah, you were close enough. It's Battilana.
Battilana.
And Italian that beat the wool. So I guess we used to fuck up sheep over in Italy, I guess. But I don't know.
That's what it means to beat the wool, huh?
Yeah, that's it right there. They might be something else. I don't know.
Before we get into our guest interview, it's time for On the Gas. And anytime we have a prestigious guest like yourself that's in the industry, we like to give them the opportunity to give that shout out to somebody that's on the gas. So Dino, who do you have for us this week?
I like Switch Suspension a lot. Those guys are my cats that build a lot of stuff for me and make me look cool. So yeah, good cats over at Switch Suspension in Phoenix. That's my shout out.
Check out the guys at Switch Suspension.
Have you seen his lowered van? Does he still have the green van?
Van's sick.
I want one of those so bad.
That thing's cool.
Oh my God. Yeah, he just took it to the Nationals, the mini truck Nationals, which is a hoot. And they dragged the shit out of that thing over there. So they took it all the way back to, what was it, Tennessee, or it was back there.
That's awesome.
They had a good time. Yeah.
Dino is the founder of Dino's Chevy Only, a brand dedicated to GM truck enthusiasts, and the event Dino's Get-Down, a show for those who share his passion with GM classic trucks. What started out as a small gathering in Dino's Appliance shop parking lot for Chevy truck enthusiasts to hang out before heading to the Goodguys event in Scottsdale has turned into an annual event taking over the Arizona Cardinals Stadium parking lot. To learn more about Dino and stay up to date with the latest information about Dino's Get-Down, visit dinoschevyonly.shop. You can also follow about Dino and the Get-Down on Instagram at dinoschevyonly and at Dino's Get-Down. Dino Battilana, welcome to Oil and Whiskey.
Hey, man. Thank you, guys. Welcome. I'm honored. Really.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Welcome.
Thank you for coming aboard.
Appreciate you coming on.
Sorry, dude. I should have.
Yeah,
I'm still at work. So,
so are we.
That's never stopped me, though. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Delmo about an hour ago. He said you need to be drinking for this. It might make it a little bit more entertaining.
Oh my God, dude. I don't know if you guys want me drinking. First of all, for a big old tractor, I'm a lightweight, so I get a little bit of fuel in me and shit. You never know.
So what you been up to, man?
We're working on the Get-Down. It's been something that it's crazy. It used to take us about 3 months to get through, and now I think we took 12 days off last year, and we're back at it now, and it's fun. I mean, the truth is, it's still fun with all the crappy stuff that's going on all over the place. This is still such a beam of light for me that I honestly have such a good time doing this. And so we're planning it out right now. So we're doing it in stages. This year we learned some stuff at the new venue, and some shit you only learn after you do something. Like, I'm a ham and egger. What do I know about doing events? I fix appliances. I don't know. So I'm getting good at it. It's taken me 13 years to get good at it, but I'm getting better at it now. So we had about 45,000 people there last year. And I think that was the insights that we got from the venue, and about 9,000, 10,000 trucks that were, and we learned some stuff, to make it smoother transitions, getting people in and out and all that kind of stuff. So we're excited.
When was the first unofficial When was the first time you had people hanging out in your parking lot to go to Goodguys?
Well, it's crazy. It was really in my backyard, and that's where I met Dell. I know that he talked a little bit about this, but at the time there was, no Instagram, no social media like that. So we were all on the truck site, and I would build stuff. And at that time, that was the shit, to go in there and chronicle all this shit that you built in your backyard. And I had a guy that worked with me too. So we were really knocking out some stuff. And I've always been a 60 to 66 guy. And I'm 62. And since I've been 13, no shit, I've never not had a C10 truck. So that truck site was really when I found out about that thing. And you could always tell my post, because I got so excited about typing. I never typed a word halfway that was right. I'd fucking type over shit. People thought must have thought I was a fucking special kid, because they couldn't understand a word. But anyways, I got on there and I'd mix it up, and I'd be super stoked about posting this stuff. And that's kind of how we met these, so many people. I got to where I got, when I was on there, they didn't even have a site for the 60 to 66. And then they started building it and all this other stuff. And before you knew it, I got close to 1 million views on that thing. And that's kind of where I met Dell. And I heard on the podcast too, he talked about that. There used to be so many people. The site is full of so many smart people that you couldn't ask somebody something on there so weird that what's the bolt size on the rear end differential on the inside? And boom, here's what the number, these guys they'd Uber out on that shit. But I remember seeing Dell on there, and he had blown apart a perfectly good truck, which on that side was something you saw a lot. People blow these trucks apart and never put them back together. And then when I saw that he split the frame, I was like, oh my God, another dude destroyed a truck. It was fucking 3 days later, that bitch was put together badass. And I was like, who is this dude?
Fucking legend.
And
legend.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like I said, one of the things about the Get-Down is I've met more people that have impacted my life through this. I'd have never met some cat from Canada, or people from Alex from El Paso, or even you cats. I mean, it's just crazy how this has met so many really, really good people. But anyway, so I kind of put it out there. Hey, you guys, Goodguys at that time was only Saturday and Sunday. And that was the biggest thing we had out here. So I said, hey, we're going to have some food at my house and just hang out in my backyard, come out, see what's up. And then we'll cruise out to Goodguys in the morning. And we were like fucking 10, like we got Schwinn's for Christmas. We got on the freeway and mixed it up. We still do it, by the way. We're idiots. But so these guys all showed up. And the first time I met Dell, he popped out of the truck, and him and Ola, and we liked, he was just this bearded dude, and it was crazy. And we became friends pretty quick, and they stayed the night at my house. And then that's when he had just brought the new pickup truck out, the 65. And since we were the same kind of dudes in those trucks, and first and foremost, Dell has the coolest style. Like Dell's the kind of guy that could fall into a big pile of dog shit and come out with a brown suit. That motherfucker just has the coolest style. I mean, honestly, that's why he could make a truck over and over again and still make it cool on everyone. It's a rare thing. And the new trucks are really sick what he's doing. But so we were having a good old time, man. I mean, we cooked up some food. They were no Italian, so we're going to feed you. And really, one of the ideas I had from this whole thing was from a guy in Northern California named Renee, the C10 King. At that time, he was also on there, and he would do this little barbecue in his backyard. And I always thought that was really, really cool. And so he was kind of the guy who inspired me to say, hey, let's get some guys together with trucks, and then we'll go out to Goodguys. And then from there, the next year we moved into the Appliance shop, which is just a few blocks away, and I got a big dirt lot. And
this is
people.
This is starting to sound a little bit like Fast and the Furious. You got Vin Diesel grilling out in the back, like you with your big ass muscles.
It's the real life.
Yeah, it's kind of like either somebody's copying somebody here.
Yeah. They had to knock off another appliance store and like get a load of stuff. Yeah,
we eat a DOS and we eat 2 kits tonight. Yeah, all that.
Do you live your life 1/4 mile at a time?
Yeah, that's kind of stuff like that. But no, it's just kind of, and that's kind of how it evolved. And honestly, it's been cultivated ever since. Like there was never a time that I said, oh man, I'm going to have the biggest, I've never really even thought about it. Now I push it because I'm just trying to up my game. I've always been a lead sled dog. I've just never been, I'm thinking about what I can do differently and all that stuff. And now it's gotten to the point now where now we're getting the interest of big companies. I mean, look how blessed I was. You guys showed up and fuck, dude, I couldn't even believe it. I was like so impressed that, like here I am, this ham and egger, and now I got all these super badass, vendors coming out supporting it. And it's just a gang of fun. I mean, I don't know how to tell you, but.
Yeah, it was an awesome show. I went the last 2 years, and 2 years ago I was pretty blown away after being out there and seeing all the trucks. And it's a drastically different vibe than most of the other shows. It seems like everybody's there hanging out, like having fun, screwing around. And it's all probably younger guys that are into the C10 stuff. Came back after that show. We're like, oh, we got to do this thing again next year. And then after SEMA, we left the truck out there in Arizona. And then I flew back out. I brought my son out for his first car show at 8 years old. And
Nice.
we're just blown away by the amount of people, trucks. I think I rolled in Friday at noon, and there was a line of people that they'd already sold out the show, and there was no more room for trucks to park at noon on Friday.
You're getting
That's just
after it. They're
insane.
getting it.
I
there at
flew in.
lunch, huh?
right early.
I got on a plane at 6 a.m, flew to Arizona, and then drove straight there.
It's crazy that we've always, you always have expectations, like, and to have those beat all the time is really, there's never one time that I go, this is the biggest. I've just never been that kind of guy, but we've been, lucky to put the passion in it and to have people come out. And I don't know who said this. It probably was Ronnie, because he's, from C10 Talk. He's philosophical, but he's like, first year, they say
that about Ronnie a lot.
Exactly. And he's,
too, yeah.
he needs a good hugger, but first year you come out for the cars, next year you come out for the people. And the truth is, a lot of people say we talk a lot about it, and the vibe is really cool. I mean, it's a very cool vibe, and I've kept it free. And even though I've got the input of Goodguys and all kinds of other people about what I should do and what I shouldn't do, I go, look, man, I got the secret sauce right now. I don't need to change it. Shit's working. I mean, obviously. I don't mind input. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't need to charge people for it. Look, the vendors pay. And I think a lot of people thought that because we've had some success, we start boning everybody on the vendor spaces. But the truth is, I just added more vendors. This year we got the full property. So we had about 7,000 spaces on the one side that we were blown away that we packed it. This year we have the green grass, where we tailgate. And now there's another 17,000 spaces on the north side that we're going to take over. And we're going to do a couple, some fun things. Like we got Barrett Jackson's going to have, I don't know if you'd call it a baby Barrett or whatever you want to call it, but we're going to have like a car corral and stimulate some, because these all go hand in hand. Like Barrett's figuring out that the trucks are the shit right now. You know what I mean? Like you roll a McLaren up there and a fucking C10 comes after and dusts that thing. It's just, and before those guys were like, oh, C10 what, blah, 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 Now they're like, they're jocking us with that shit like crazy. So, who knew?
What keeps you looking at the numbers of how many people are attending that? What keeps you from charging for that? Because like profit could be pretty game changing on something like that.
I think so. I mean, listen, I like chips. Fuck, everybody likes that. I fucking love all that stuff. And I don't have any problem spending it either. But the truth was, I kind of like the way it's been. You know what I mean? I like that whole thing that I think that a lot of car shows and a lot of venues could probably, I'm not saying anything to learn from anybody, but look, man, the vendors get a fair square. Like, hey, I can say it. It's a $2,000 space for the biggest space we have. You know what I mean? And you match that against a lot of people. I get it. And the venue is not like it's cheap for us, but this year, we have 198 vendors with about 55 people waiting to be a vendor. That's humbling and also terrifying for Terry. That's the deal with that part. But at the same time, the truth is, it's working. So I don't have to change that. That formula is working. And like I said, could it be nice to charge somebody? But it just changed the feel, it just changed the feel. And I don't care about that. I want it to be.
It's kind of subliminally, I think, sets the mood for the event. It's like you go to a Cars and Coffee on the weekend or a cruise night, and it's always a drastically different vibe than
you don't feel like somebody's trying to get in your pocket.
Yeah. You're just there hanging out, having fun. It's just your buddies basically. And
Well, you talked about, you never really had a vision for it and you don't really think about it in the beginning, but take us back to the point to where, I went a couple years and years ago, it's probably 9-10 years ago to the Get-Down at your business, and it was hanging out, was fun. It was great. We went there after, doing the Goodguys that weekend and stuff. At what point did you get to where you were like, yeah, we're going to have to find a bigger lot. Like, I've got to do something. This is getting out of control.
That's funny. It's funny because like the last time we were here, we had people pulling out the top trucks, because here in Phoenix or in Arizona, we have that's when they hand out the top truck for Goodguys and all that stuff. We were having those top trucks pulling out of Goodguys, bringing them to some weird appliance guy's shop. You know what I mean? And so it got to the point where we had about 7,000 or 8,000 people here, and it was nuts. And people just couldn't get in, and they were getting grumpy about it. I mean, it used to start at the shop at 4:00. And then it got to the point where people were spending the night before.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I like cars. I don't like them that much. Goddamn, dude. And then it got to the point where they were circling the property like sharks, man. And so it people just got a little, frustrated because they came so far away and they couldn't get in. And at that point I said, hey, look, we got to move it. And, we had a permit to do this, and all of our neighbors were cool. And, for the first 7 or 8 years, we fed everybody too. So it was something that, people, we had fun doing it and all that kind of stuff. And then, I always tell this story too. Like the last year I was here, the cops showed up. Well, I'm your typical New Yorker in Arizona that lives same block, same everything, same house, same everything. You know what I mean? So I could drive around my neighborhood. You thought I was, soprano. Hey, how you doing? But you know what I mean? Because I know everybody, whatever it is, it's small. So I know the cops. So everybody started telling me, the cops are outside. The cops are outside. And so I went out there and I walked outside and there was a big cop out there in the corner, and I walked up to him, and people couldn't really see me talk to him, but I talked with my hands, this bullshit. And, so I see him and I go, hey, Andy, how you doing? And we're talking but I'm acting like I'm mad because I'm trying to get some street credit, in front of my friends, I go, Andy, I go, did you eat? My brother's cooking. And I'm acting like, like I'm having a fit or whatever. And he goes, yeah, I already ate. So we're talking. And then I look back and I said, hey, can I act up a little bit so I get a little street credit? And he just taps me on the chest. He goes, no, just keep it down. Keep it down. So I laugh about that all the time. So I was like, I wanted to be like Jesse James out there, be like, act up, man, and get like, look at me. But it didn't work out. But, so we ended up moving it to another venue that I thought I could grow into. I was like, shit, this, I had 1,500 car spaces and all that stuff. And the first year we killed it. And so then I had to move it one more time, which I thought was going to be another good home, to Westgate, which was just another parking lot in a mall. It was really fun. And we lasted there a few years. And then now the venue I'm at now, should be conducive to, there's just a point now I don't need to get it any bigger or have any more vendors, or I still want to keep it where it's still a monster, and we should be able to get 6,000 cars in per day and park a lot of people and have a lot of vendors. And the idea for me is the vendors be like blown away by how many people I could stuff down the alley, down their aisles, and them have a good, successful event,
That's cool, man. Is it ever humbling to think about the fact that you've outgrown Westworld or Barrett Jackson?
Westgate.
It's
Westgate. Sorry.
It's
yeah.
Down the road at the, we've been to the Cars and Coffee there. And when we go to Barrett Jackson, it's not the same spot. It's that big. Yeah.
At any rate, 45,000 fucking people.
I fucked it up all the time. I say it all the time. So I'm like, Westworld, I forgot shit. But I'm old. You got to remember, I'm old.
Then you packed out the Arizona Cardinals football stadium.
It's nuts.
Yeah. My goal is to be able to see this thing in space, man. I mean, it's gonna be stupid, but honestly, there's lots of times that I'm laying in bed with Terry and I'm looking at the ceiling fan, going, "What in the fuck am I doing? This is nuts." Because there's a lot of moving parts to this stuff, right? Okay. So, and there's a lot of babysitting. You guys are in the same thing. Like, hey, I want to be next to this guy. I want to do this. I've been to enough car shows in my life that I think to myself. And I kind of reflect on Rocky Balboa. I think I invented this, but the truth is I like to, the way I set it up. You want to see suspension? Here's an aisle of suspension. All the badass guys, bring your game. If you want to see air ride, here's your air ride guys. You want to see wheels. So the wheel guy's not behind the apparel guy and all this. So it's by category like a grocery store. And I tell people it's been very, very successful. And vendors telling me, man, we killed it. We did good. Because the people that are coming to this are looking at cars, but also get this benefit of having all these fantastic vendors with specials and all kinds of junk, so, and we even give away like I don't want to call it a program, but when you roll in, we give you magazines, CK and some other magazines, Classic. We always give out magazines there that they're generous enough to help us with. Then we put this dash plaque on that has your information. So if a magazine takes a shot, they know who the hell you are, that kind of stuff. And then on the backside, you flip that and that has all the vendors. And I knew that takeaway, that would reach out to somebody and somebody would say something that went to a bigger company that said, look at this dude. Why aren't we getting involved with this dude? And it's worked. I just wanted to earn that when people come, like when I get bigger vendors, I know enough people I could call, I could call somebody that knows somebody that says, hey, could you, are you guys interested in coming in, or whatever, but I just wanted to earn it. And I've worked hard at doing that,
You've done a good job at it. That's for sure.
I think the working hard part, I think the coolest things that I saw there was Saturday afternoon, 4:00, I was rolling out a little bit early and there's a big traffic jam out in front to get out and get up there. And it's you and your wife are then out there directing traffic. And you push the cops aside and you were just moving people and getting them out. I'm like, oh shit, dude puts on a show
get it done.
And runs the crosswalk.
He might have just been talking.
I'm good at that. But if you would have seen Terry, her, Terry, she's hot as heck. You seen her out there directing traffic. She was stopping traffic. I was like, stop. The guy was backing on her like, Chris, how you doing? I mean, you guys have seen Terry. She's ka-chow, man. I'm like, shit.
How much deliberation was there internally to open it up to non-Chevrolets?
Yeah, I did that a little bit at first, and I go back in the day, man, where your dad was a Chevy guy, and I've just always never crossed that line. Like, so when I had guys, I felt bad for some of the Ford guys because they just don't have any friends, you know what I mean? And they're just Ford dudes. And so I added that 1 year to those guys and threw them a bone. And they behaved pretty good. And we had some, and no kidding, there's a lot of bitching Ford trucks. I tease a little bit about it, but I love all those trucks. So I'm just not driving them. But I said, hey man, there's enough Chevy guys. And if you look around, I've said this a lot, let's somebody cool have a Ford show. I'm like, I just need the Chevy stuff. And so we opened it up. So it got to be so big and I wanted vendors to have a better opportunity instead of one day. I'm like, let's make it 2 days. And then on Saturday, we'll open up to anything GM because we'd hear guys like, I got an El Camino or I got, I'm like, okay. Or so then we opened it up to GM stuff and we got a bunch of really cool stuff. And what we didn't want was all those fucking transformer cars that were bumblebees. And I didn't want a whole row of those dudes, or, you know what I mean? Like I got Camaros with suicide doors or whatever, the butterfly, we wanted cool cars, Pro Street cars, lowrider cars. We just wanted cool cars. And that's been working out good. You know what I mean? So I don't have any room for the Ford guys. So
how do you tell that dude with the suicide doors with the 26s it's rolling in? How do you tell it? How do you tell him like, no, dude, this is a private event?
Look, if he has 26s, we're letting him in. But we're talking about the guys that go to Cars and Coffee that line up 19 of them with all the underglow on and some of that stuff. Listen, we don't mind. And all kidding aside, we just about let everybody in because it is what it is, but we do that top chip thing and we're having some fun with that. So I don't know if you guys know, but we do a chip for the top 100 trucks. I don't know if you guys know that. So, and what I do is I hand those chips out to like 10 shot callers across. And last year I didn't do a very good job shipping them out early enough, but I usually ship like some to like Boris, and he'll come out and I'll say, you pick 10 cars you like. And then, Ronnie, you pick 10 cars. So it's just not me picking cars. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. So, in this way, that's what the chip looks like. It's kind of cool. It's going to be quite the collectors. I mean, and that's kind of funny. Is as cheesy as it is, people just dig this.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So what we do is Now they got a top 100 spot. This year we're gonna do a little bit more. We're also gonna give you a sticker for your windshield, so you'll get a chip, a sticker, and then we made a top truck shirt for you also. I wish I could give it away, but I got to make too many because there's too many sizes. So we give that to them for like $10. It's whatever it costs. But the idea is that now those guys, and it could be anything that you like. You know, maybe you like a stock 67 to 72 or whatever. I don't really care. I pick my 10, and then I let these other 10 guys pick their 10, and it's kind of fun, you know. So we have some good times with that part of it. So
that's pretty cool.
You know,
that's great. That's a good idea. Like you said, it always gives credibility when it's a somebody you look up to or a peer or somebody that's building these for a living that's picked your shit versus, you know, behind the curtain or, you know, who you don't even know. You just like get told one day you got to pick and you're like, well, yeah. It gives some credibility to it.
It's cool too, grabbing something like that. Just as simple as a poker chip, just a little different. Like when we did the best on RS, we did skate decks.
Yeah.
And it's just off the wall, but you're like, oh, that I could see how that could very quickly become like such a desirable thing.
It's so different to hang on your wall and do, you know, versus the, you know, standard trophy or done in a different shape or something. You touched on it a little bit about, you know, you're so well known. You've been in this for so long. You've got so many friends. How do you deal with the, hey man, I need a special something, little something here and there. You know, we go way back, right? You know, I baked you that lasagna last week. You know, I need
Dino's my boy.
Yeah.
I get a lot of that. I'm very popular around that time. Hey, you know, the truth is like, it's always who you know. I tell people all the time, and I'm loyal to a fault. At the same time, like it's still now, unfortunately, it's got to be, you know, a little bit more business. The truth is, the real nuts and bolts, I make Terry do that.
Be like, oh yeah, like, hey, I don't make this.
You guys got to talk to Terry, and she's the hammer. She's like, no, here's how it works. So it takes, but the truth is, like, honestly, I've been really blessed with so many good people who have been so kind over me through all the years. And I've never been that guy, and I'm sure you guys get so many handouts. I mean, people got their hand out. I'm building a truck. Hey, would you sponsor me? And all that stuff. And people do that to me, and I'm like, hey, you realize I fix appliances. I build my own trucks. You know what I mean? Like, you want your washer fixed? I can help you. I don't know.
My ice maker's been fucking up.
It's funny because I'm probably the only guy in the appliance business that half these guys know. So I do get a lot of tech questions, and I'm glad because that's my wheelhouse. But, you know, I think it's funny because I think that people, you were kind to say that, and a lot of people know me. I think I'm parking lot famous. I'm pretty good in the parking lot, and that's about as good as it goes from there. You know? I mean, I'm no Delmo, but even though I got to tell you this story, so I'm in Vegas, and we're at SEMA, and we're at an adult entertainment spot that's quite fun, and we're throwing some back, and like I said, I'm pretty much a lightweight, and some guy comes up and goes, "You're Delmo." He just points to me right in the middle of it. I go, "No, I'm Delino." And, you know, I just morphed my name together. So, you know, but people call me Delmo all the time. I go, "No, I'm his dad." I go, "I'm Delmo's dad."
It's the white hair, man.
I get so much of that. It's so crazy.
Well, feel like we kind of jumped right into the whole Get-Down thing and straight into the show. We need to go, you know, tell us like how, we talked about how it, you know, the Get-Down got its start, but how did you get into fucking cars and also having an appliance business for as long as you've had? Like, there's got to be a unique backstory there.
Well, like I said, I'm an old cat, so I'm 62. So I grew up in Central Phoenix, and Central Phoenix had a cruise street called Central. Really popular. That thing would get, no kidding, 30, 40,000 people per night. I lived on McDowell and Central. So south of McDowell was lowriders, and north McDowell was just a regular, you know, all the hot rod guys. Well, I worked at a gas station at the corner of Central and McDowell, and I was a kid, and you know, I grew up, you know, in my generation. I mean, we were lucky enough to grow up where we made BMX bikes out of putting the handlebars on a bicycle, and you know, so all that stuff. We had a lot of shit to do that was fun, and of course, go-karts, and you know, it's funny. I heard you guys talking about Briggs and Stratton, and I built a go-kart when I was a kid, and I had this old boy that that was my neighbor, and he's an old hot rodder, and his name was Paul Zeller, and he's kind of like my second father. I've been blessed. I had a great father, but I have like a super great second father, and Paul, super big mentor for me. And Paul was the kind of guy, still is, he's 88, that could take a V8 and cut it in half and make a 4-cylinder. I mean, he had that technology. He was just such a sharp guy. But so I used to go over and mow his lawn, and he was a hot rod guy. So he chromed out my Briggs & Stratton motor because, we didn't do no Tecumseh shit. Yeah, baby. And we had some ATC tires on that shit.
I wonder
and
what
back
those
in the
Tecumseh guys are doing today. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did
They're
they go?
probably driving Ford.
Model trains.
Yeah, model trains.
Tecumseh dude's a model train dude for sure.
We had one in the Pennzoil IndyCar. That was a Tecumseh.
Yeah, that was yours.
He said that was yours.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally drive a Briggs & Stratton without an air cleaner on it for years. That fucking thing can start up every time.
Pop, pop, pop,
But
pop.
I mean, so I would sit on Central, which was my spot, and just watch cars. And so I've been my whole life just loved cars, and I got to the point where, no kidding, I could tell a car's headlights and tell you what kind of car it was. I was a crummy student, but I knew cars. And so about 13, I went to go to work at the gas station, which I think you're like 7th grade, something like that. And I'd go in the morning and I'd open up this gas station for this cat named Kirby Donnell. And then before I'd go to school, and then a lot of times I just didn't go to school. I just stayed working, and then my pop would show up, and at that time he's a big old scary guy. And so all he did was this: you got this, you got these, you better make it home. So it was one of those. But he'd roll in and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I got to work today." He was like, "All right, put $5 worth of ethyl in there." So it was just those days that, your dad was like, "All right, you got to learn a trade." So I spent a lot of time at that gas station, and that's where I first got my first C10 truck. Was at a 63 short bed 3 on the tree C10 truck, and we did Mountain Bell roadside assistance. And like I said, I didn't have a driver's license, but I knew how to change tires. So I cleaned that truck up, and that truck was like, to me, was the shit, dude. I loved it. And so I worked there through high school, and it got to the point where, I just, cars were everything I wanted to do. I mean, the cars and trucks, and the C10 thing is something I've done. I've had lots of Novas. I've been a big Nova guy, just all kinds of different stuff, but mainly everything kind of always gets back to the trucks. But so that's kind of where that part of it started for me. And as I got older, got married, my car hobby had to kind of like sit back a little bit, but I would work on cars at night. I do stupid stuff, brakes. And then at that time, we were talking probably it's the early 80s, I'd lower cars or I'd lift cars, and I would do it in my driveway and stuff like that. Mainly that time started coming in with the S10s. So I was doing a lot of lowering S10s and stuff. Well, I was working in a truck shop, and lost my job there because I was a smart ass. And I went down the street, and there's this old boy, Paul, that had this appliance repair place that just sold parts, was down the street. And I hadn't seen him for a minute, and my hair was super long then because that was the shit you did. And it was black too, by the way. And it was lovely. Anyways, it's just,
I'm trying to picture that.
Oh, it's just full of locks. Anyways. So I rolled in there, and I'm like, "Hey, Paul," it was a Saturday. And I'm like, "Hey, I got to get a job." And he looked up at me and he goes, "All right, we'll cut that fucking hair and come back to work on Monday." So I had just cut all my hair off, and I showed up to work. Well, I started working for him, and it just one of those things. He was a hot rod guy. He was the first guy that ever showed me how to pancake a cross member, which led me into the Porterbuilt thing and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, so I worked for Paul for, 17 years kind of ish. But I found out that it was so much easier to work on appliances at night than it was cars. And I never even was taught how to fix appliances. But people, they thought it was hard work, and I thought it was easy work. I was like, Jesus, this is pretty easy work. So I started building appliances out of my house and doing that instead of working on cars. And then I could fund my little car projects of what I was doing then. And then when he retired, I went into the full service, and I worked for a couple factory places and stuff like that. Then I ended up having a pretty big shop where I was partners with a bigger parent company, and I had about 70 employees, and, worked all the time, just nonstop worked. And we would do about 350 service calls a day. And I like chaos, obviously.
Just
I have
not
to get
that
down.
much.
Yeah, I fucking love chaos. I mean, for some reason you think you control it, but But so that's kind of how I got to the appliance business. And then I had an opportunity to have my own spot for the factory. They had something special they were going on, and it's kind of seeked me out. So that's where the Dino's Appliance came in about 15 years ago. So, and it's been nice. And there's days that you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. So shit, who knows, you know what I mean? But that's kind of how the whole appliance thing started. And the people that come to my appliance shop are a little, they're like, is this appliance shop or a car shop? I'm like,
Depends on what you need.
yeah. And
you said you got fired because you were a smartass. Do you remember what it was that you said?
yeah, I socked a guy, and it was not even a great punch. I punched him on top of the forehead, which I thought that at the time, sometimes you think you're a good puncher, and you find out you kind of punch like a girl. But I really, I was like, I was like, I don't know. I thought I clocked the guy, but obviously I didn't. And, he just had a smart ass comment about something, and when you're younger like that, I don't know, it was kind of dumb, and then they fired me, and I was like, why?
What happened?
Talking shit about your beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have really socked him on that one. But I think he made a comment at that time of, something about being a Dago or something. And he was a Dago. I was like, what the fuck you got? I don't know. So like, I don't know why you get refer up over that stupid shit, but it is.
That's crazy. So you just learned along the way on appliance shit? Just after all these years, just like you said, you think it's easy work. You just fucking do it.
Yeah.
How big's the shop now?
As I used to run about 190 stops a day, and then COVID showed up. Had a lot of guys working, about 19 trucks. And then I had a lot of guys that have been with me a long time, even though I've only had this shop 15 years. But these guys came from shop to shop and, believed in me, and I supported them. So I had about like 8 or 9 guys retire through COVID, which is, and you guys know what this is. To find trades or try and help now is crazy. And it's a good, service work in the appliance business is very durable. So when it's slow, we're fixing stuff. When people are selling stuff, we're doing warranty work. So it's a durable business. Like, we have enough to do all the time. But yeah, I kind of like it right now because we're tiny as far as we only got 5 techs on the road right now. I kind of like it. I've never worked less in my life. Like, we actually close at 3 now, which is, the appliance business is always like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m, 5 days a week. And then Saturday, you always had to work till 3, which fucked up your Saturday. And
for those listening, you're going to go out and buy all brand new appliances next weekend. What's a brand to absolutely stay the fuck away from?
Dude, and listen, I'm not banging on the Chinese people, the Korean or any of that stuff, but the LGs, the Korean market is the worst market for appliances. And not because the product is terrible. It's made on a global basis. So what happens is they get parts from Indonesia, Mexico, or wherever, and they don't know how to source those parts. So they get new old stock parts. So when they're building washers, they build so many washers and then put so many parts on stock for new old stock to replace for warranty. And now, it used to be before, and this is no shit, but we used to fix washers that were 20 years old, and we'd resell those things like all day. Now, the life expectancy of even most of the most popular brands, you might get 8 to 12 years. And that stuff is, you swish it and you're out. So in 2010, there was a United States mandate of all the washing machines. This is way too much information. I'm sorry.
No, this is great.
I'm told you I got verbal diarrhea.
It's great.
So all washers now have to use a certain amount of water. So 14 gallons. So they've made these washers, not that they're crummy, they've just made them to where they're not as durable, and people don't want to change the way they're doing laundry. They're like, look, the sales guy with the pinky ring goes, you could stuff a couch in this thing, wash it. And then we're saying, hey, it's only 13 pounds. Look, man, if you're a big old sausage, you got pants that are huge, you can only wash 4 pair. You know what I mean? Like, look, so it's one of those things. So yeah, I would stay away from, I like the Whirlpool product a lot. That's the one I exclusively work on now. It's like Chevrolet for me. It's still money in the bank. Even GE has gone over to the Korean marketplace. And like I said, nothing against those products. But I go to those stores like LG, I go to Home Depot and I'll see those LG refrigerators and they got a TV, all this crap on the front of a refrigerator that you don't need. And I think that's you're going to try to get that part in 2 years. When it fails, you're going to throw this $4,000 refrigerator away. It's kind of gone the same way that the TV business has. Used to fix TVs. Now you throw them away.
Dude, I've been in 2 houses now. My appliances are fucking solid. I mean, they always get the laundry done. The food is always made. Never have like any issues. The refrigerator's always like just full of food.
You realize we're talking about the appliance that she uses. We're talking about 2 different things.
Oh. Well, yeah, we don't I don't know. We don't have any issues with them. They just
hey, the weird part is I don't either.
It just happens.
The worst thing I hate is to work on my own stuff to make it work. Like if my washer breaks, I send one of my techs over. I want to work on it. I go, it's great to be me. I don't want to work on that thing, man. Are you kidding me?
If mine breaks, I don't know who's going to take care of the fucking kids.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I work too much, man.
Hey, people lose their mind around Thanksgiving. They're like, you don't understand. It's my dishwasher. And I'm like, don't you have any kids? I'm like, there you go. I solved it for you. Or we do something that's kind of fun. And sometimes it's a swing and a miss. And sometimes it's funny. But I have these loaner ice trays. It says Dino's on them. So we go to your house and your ice maker's broken. What are we supposed to do about an ice maker? I go, here's these ice trays. Sometimes people think it's funny. Sometimes they don't find the humor. I think it's hilarious. But hey.
Gets you by.
Yep. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I mean, unless you married a wife with no arms. I mean, at the end of the day, like no matter what breaks, you can get it done.
Some people do some crazy shit with their feet.
Yeah. You can washboard, get those clothes clean. So what's going to be different for this year's Get Down?
We got a lot more room, and we learned some lessons about traffic last year. Obviously, I don't want to direct traffic. I'm sure everybody wants to see Harry do it. Yeah, and my dogs were barking, dude. I was out there like, you've got to be kidding me. But at the same time, you do what you do. But that we're gonna do. Like I said, we're going to try to do that car corral. We're going to get a whole gang of food out there this time. The venue at that time said, hey, don't worry about this. They were kind of like underestimating us. And it's hard to say, hey, look, we're bringing the smoke. You better be ready. The guy's like, look, man, we've never ran out of food during tailgating. And they ran out at like 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, whatever. So we're going to make sure we got lots of food, trucks and all that kind of stuff. And so we're just going to try to run a smoother event. So one of the things that, I used to drive up and down the aisles, and I still do because I'm lazy. But so I'm going to block all the aisles now this year. So only people can go up and down the aisles. And then on the end of each north and south aisle, we'll have your name on the end of the barrier, in your, roaster shop, this aisle, boom. We'll have it on both sides. So we want people to be able to find you guys easier and not have to contend with any traffic. And we never last year got a chance to set up the cruise lane. So the other thing we're going to do that's going to be really helpful is we have the C10 Club Arizona here, Brian Val. We have the one in Tucson, Robert runs that. And then we have the guys from El Paso, Alex runs that. So I've talked to all those guys and said, hey, look, I'm going to make you some special shirts as staff shirts. I'll put you guys, where you're from on the shirt, blah, blah, blah. And then I need you guys to organize these 125 people to help us during the event, where I need 2 people per gate that are car people, to let people in and out and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have that part of it where, before we were using their staff that didn't, they'd let, all kinds of stuff. So it was one of those things. So we're going to tighten that all up. And then the number one thing that I'm sure Hills Hot Rod will be very happy about is we're going to make a vendor entrance and exit gate. I thought he was going to cook me last year. He was so pissed. I go, look, I don't know what to tell you, man. So anyways, we're going to have an entrance and exit. So you guys you got to get out or whatever. We'll be able to get you in and out, without going through the regular traffic bullshit. So, and then we got a lot more bathrooms too. That's another thing too. And it'll also help if we unlock them. Hey, who thought? That's important. I was like, hey, that's kind of a thought. And then, Yeah. So the spectator parking now will be on the same property. So you're not walking your legs off just to get there. So we got about, I want to say like 15,000 spectator parking spaces. So the idea is to flood everybody through the food and then right into the vendors and then into the car show.
That'd be cool.
Common sense approach.
Yeah, it's amazing what
works
that'll
very
do.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with a show that big, we've talked about all the awesome stuff that goes on. What's the behind the scenes of like the horror stories?
Yeah,
right? Well, I'm interested because
Me
know,
too.
we've been doing Good Guys shows for years, so we get a little look behind the curtain sometimes of like, the guy flipping out that his car got moved, or this guy's has to park and back his 48 Chevy right into a vendor spot, So what's the car that caught on fire? The dude that's like, fuck you, I'm parking here.
Okay, knock on wood, dude. We've been lucky on all that stuff. And it's definitely concerning when you get that many people. And when you start thinking about it, honestly, you don't want to even do it because you're like, some million things could happen. The most important thing is that, look, I don't have any problem drinking. And we have long days where some of these guys get their swerve on first thing in the morning. So for me, what I do with the clubs, especially some of the really fun clubs that like to, I let them park their trucks Thursday night, pull it in tight up to the front gate, and then go set up in the area for the designated area to, have fun, in the grass area. And then I get those shot callers from each group and I go, look, you got to control your dudes. You know what I mean? So we want everybody to be safe and we want kids to be there and have a good old time. But at the same time, let's just not make about you drinking your Budweiser or whatever. I don't know. Just kidding. About you, you know what I mean? So like, it's part of that is like, so that's some of the things that concern me the most is when we get people drinking too much and then driving.
Sure.
So my thoughts were, I'll get all the clubs, and I know some of the clubs that are the big guys that do that. So I'm like, park your trucks in Thursday night. You can walk back to the hotel, get as sassy as you want. I don't care. You're walking. I don't care. And then in the morning, they can get up and come in and they're already in. All I do is walk back, and the hotel also is pretty close. So I try to do as much of that as I can. And that's the biggest concerns I have is really just everybody's been pretty respectful about the whole thing about, like we have some fire marshal rules like everybody else does. And some people think, I'm just, it's like my rule. I go, look, man, you've never obviously had an event because there's a lot of shit that you got to do, So we try to keep all the awnings out of the car show so people don't have an awning blow on somebody's car. And then there's a wham fist over that, and all that shit. So some of that stuff is, what we try to manage the most. But all said and done, like I said, there's a lot to think about. We've been lucky in the fact that we've never had, the only time I ever had one thing that was, we were back at Westgate and I was talking to Terry and then the guy comes over the radio, Dino, some guy trying to break in the gate over here and there's like a fight or whatever. So I was like, shit. So I roll over in the golf cart as quick as a golf cart can go, right? I roll up and I roll up to the dude and I go, what's the problem here? What's the problem? He goes, well, I'm trying to get in here. I said, well, it's full. You can't get in. He goes, well, I know Dino. I go, motherfucker, I'm Dino. I was like,
you don't know him well.
Yeah, he was like, I know Dino. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm Dino. And then he was like, oh, well, I go, no, dude, just park it over there and walk in, dude, So it's some of that stuff. So for the most part, it's been pretty chill with that, but it does frighten me. There's no doubt.
Wild. What are you building now? Are you in the middle of any truck builds?
Yeah, for some reason, I've been into the OBS trucks.
Really?
But funny you say that. I just bought a 54 car. I'm going to go get tomorrow, I built a few of those and to let them go too quick. And, but I've been really into the OBS trucks lately. I got Terry, we built Terry a truck, and I just bought Eddie Franco's, that short bed dually that they never really kind of made it. I built plenty of short bed dually trucks that were 1,500. I like it because the frame squish, that type of thing. So you can, and it's not hard to change axle, all that other stuff. But I really want to build an OBS Pro Street truck. Like, it's still my favorite. I still love my Pro Street truck that I have right here. Still my favorite. I love that huge tire in the back. And I'd like to put a bullet in one of these days. Like, I have mine supercharged, but it's not that fast. My Black Widow truck was really fast. Matter of fact, I had to sell it because I wasn't old enough to drive it. You know, if anybody who rolled up on me, I had put that underglow underneath my truck, and it looks cool when you park your truck. You know what I mean? That's a cool thing. I never wanted to be fast and furious and driving around with it. So me and Terry, a couple of seniors, were rolling, and it's on an app on her phone, and somehow she turned it on. I was like, well, turn it off, turn it off. I don't want to be driving around looking like I'm 14. And sure enough, some dude with a Charger rolls up on me with underglow, and I guess he thought we were sword fighting with that thing or something. I was like, Jesus Christ. So
You had to show him who's boss, huh?
He snapped the throttle on me, dude. And of course, those guys can't drive those cars. And, you know, and at that time I had that slicker tire on it, so I felt like I could drive it. And, you know, I blew the tires off, got all sideways and all that stuff, and had all kinds of good fun. And then I saw a pair of eyes looking at me, and I was like, okay, I'll be cool. I did it again, like the following weekend. And after the following third day, I sold it. I was like, okay, because I was going to crash the truck. There's no doubt. I just drove it like an idiot.
There is something about those Chargers. You ever feel like those things just pop up everywhere?
They're always lurking.
Yeah. Man, and wherever you are, just the other day I'm driving the Legend truck and getting a little sporty with it, and all of a sudden, there's a Charger.
That one driving Matt Chevelle, or Joe Chevelle now, coming back from on the road tour. That was a Charger that popped up.
Yeah,
remember?
That's right.
On the back from
literally
Columbus.
the new bad car. Literally. I mean, listen, we all know Mustangs like curbs. You know, they're as bad as Swift trucks. Every time I see a Mustang or Swift truck, I get the fuck away. I'm like, I'm not getting near those dudes. I mean, it's
what kind of motor would you put in a Pro Street OBS truck?
You know, I'd probably do a 3 LS3, but this time I'd probably do a different supercharger on a different style blower, so it'd look kind of you know, like more like a Root. I'd rather have that style. And the LS power is just so much fun in that you know, like automatically, you know, out of the gate, you get so much torque. And so I'm new to the LS game. I mean, I know how to set timing on an old car and all that stuff. Something happens to the LS car, I got to call somebody. I'm like, Johnny, the side shut off. I don't know.
Plug your computer in here. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It just, you know, I mean, they're like, well, Dino, it doesn't have gas. I'm like, well, fuck, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know.
The fucking gas gauge doesn't work.
Jesus Christ. You know?
What's that? What's the little B&M supercharger for the small? Was it like a 144 mega charger? What do they call that? Remember?
Yeah,
it's single
I have
four
a
barrel.
I think.
I have a 177 on my Pro Street, but it's a regular. It's a ZZ4 style motor,
Yeah,
but
that's like the setup. And that little blower that doesn't really do much. But the belt goes around.
Yeah,
the car
you get a baby whine out of it. Just get a little bit of a baby whine out of it. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have thought my Pro Street truck has 700, 800 horsepower the way I drive it, but it don't. But I make people think it does.
You're just foot camming that thing, and you pull in like it's gonna like you're pulling the reins back, you know. Just
I power brake it and make it chirp. I got a 456 gear in the back, so I just power brake it and just chirp it. Poor Terry, like, you're such a tool. I'm like, it's just got such a big cam, it just torques that wheel.
Stock converter in it, so when you put it in gear.
Yeah, dude, I'm just such a ham and egg, dude. It's so terrible.
What are you gonna do with the 54?
I think that I'm pretty familiar with that car, so I'm going to use some. I'll probably just honestly bag that car. I was thinking about changing the chassis. I know you guys have a chassis. I'm dying to work with something with you guys and build some stuff. So I don't think it's that kind of budget kind of car that I'm going to build, but we'll see. But I am dying to work on some stuff of yours. I'm a big fan of the product. Lots of friends. I mean, obviously I know Boris sells the wheels off, and I think he's over 100 frames for you guys. And, you know, and honestly, not to toot your horn, but you guys have a superior product. It's really, really nice. And if anybody's ever driven a square body truck and now goes from a C-channel frame to a box frame, they would appreciate how that feels. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it. What,
pretty squirrely.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, it transplants all the energy. Yeah.
Horror story on appliance repair. There's got to be something that something was inside of some appliance that shouldn't have been in there that was causing the malfunction.
Yeah, I got 2, so I'll make it quick because you know I can talk. So 1, everybody always has that friend that has the dually and the sand rail and everything, and you're like, dude, you're jacked. You got some grip. I mean,
yeah.
Guy calls me, says, hey, Dino, my stove's not working. He's right around the corner from the shop. And like I said, he has all the big boy toys and all that stuff. So I roll over to his house. And as soon as I get to his house, I knew there was trouble because there was a river of waste coming from his yard into that just stunk and into the curb. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Well, his septic his front sewer pipe had backed up. So he just took the cap off and it just pumped out. So it was disgusting. So that was the first swing and a miss. Then I roll up. His mom meets me at the door and has got one of those. I was like, hey, I'm not talking anything about her mom, but I was kind of scaring me at the end. And then I roll in there and he's tucked the Volkswagen engine that he had out of a sandrail. It was building inside of his house on his table. And there was a giant spool. So then I go, I'm like, man, this is really weird because I didn't get it. So I roll in there and he's got a gas stove, and it's halfway in one room and halfway kind of in the kitchen. We had added on to the room, but didn't pour concrete. So there was grass all the way around the inside of the room, but didn't have a waterbed. I was like, Jesus. And then there was just trails of roaches that were trying to escape, but hit the grease. And I was like, Gary, hey man, I'm sorry. I don't work on gas stoves. And I bounced. I was like, that was disgusting. And then the other one was, went to a lady's house, and these are always people who beat you up. And I went to a lady's house and I knocked on the door, and doors open in on houses, and the door hit me in the face, and the guy's like, get out of the way. And I'm like, and he has a rope on the door and a stick pushing the door out. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look, and there's chicken wire to step over to get in the door. So I'm like, that's weird. Well, he raised rabbits and ate rabbits. That's where his main food came from. And of course, rabbits eat in one end and just poop out the other. So it was like, it was definitely like some Silence of the Lambs shit. I was like, holy fuck. So I'm rolling in there, and there's probably like a half a dozen kids in there running around. And nobody's got a diaper on, just disgusting.
Just feral.
And I was like,
kids.
Well, yeah, feral kids, like feral cats everywhere. So I roll back there and I can start to smell. It's just disgusting. And of course, the lady had just taken the diapers off the kids and throw them in the washer and then wash them with poop and everything in them. Ugh. And I just took a screwdriver out, lifted the lid, and just dropped it down. I said, hey, I forgot something in my truck. I'll be back in a minute. And I just left. I was like, this. I got a couple of.
It's cool you're still friends with Sam after all that.
Yeah. Those are the younger days. He had some hair that I didn't recognize. That's funny.
That's got to be tough being an appliance guy and a car guy, because you're everybody's best friend, and probably anytime you're at somebody's house, hey, dude, can you take a look at this? So if it's not the car that's fucked up, it's like, man, the ice maker's just like,
my ice maker's doing a little bit of like a chugga when it starts. Okay.
Like when it used to be clutch, man, because like I always traded, I always hustle. So I was like the only guy in the appliance game. So I'd be like, hey man, can you fix your washer? I'm like, hey, can you weld this up? And they're like, yeah. So that was clutch for a long time, you know, and then now the stuff is just like fixing toilet paper. Now the stuff is so crummy that, I don't know.
Well, come time for the standard questions. First up, you talked about your first truck. That was a 63, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You still have that?
No, I don't, but I do have my panel truck.
Okay. When did the panel truck come along?
I had that, I had black hair. So about 35 years ago.
Best story about the panel truck.
Let's see here. Well, the panel truck's had about 5 engines in it. And I built 4 of them. And I think 2 of them made it out of the driveway before they blew up. So yeah, I would tell you that I learned how to build engines with the panel truck, and I wasn't very good at it.
You learned not to build any more engines. Right. Yeah,
you just kind of learn that stay in your lane. I was like, well, maybe this engine thing's not for me. But that was the first time that we ever so the pancake cross member is what kind of started. That's how I met Nate Porter. And that's kind of how that started. He was across the street from my appliance shop, and I said, hey, I've been building these pancake cross members for probably 6 years before that, because this old boy Paul was a hot rodder. That was something they did back in the day, and we'd put a little runway through there. I'd raise up the steering box. I could get caster and camber. I never figured out the hinge issue to put hinges on the truck, but that's kind of how that all came about, where, we kind of partnered up and did some of that stuff. And that's kind of how the panel truck kind of started that. It's had a lot of lives, and now, it's got an LS motor in it now, and it's super fun. It's got a big old dumb stereo in it. I mean, honestly, you feel like you're in a nightclub, and but
You should put it's got room for a pole in the back. You could take that Vegas adult establishment anywhere you wanted to go.
Get it on the
I
road.
gotta tell you something. There's not much room in their back for the stereos in there. You thought I was 13 and from the 80s, dude. I took my house speakers in that thing, but
Favorite car movie and why?
let's see here. Probably, man, that's a tough one. That's a good question. I had one there for you that was, and I don't remember what the one is, but it had this singer in it, and he had a 55 Chevy, and he went around drag racing everybody.
Oh, 2-lane blacktop.
There you go. And I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure
was James Taylor.
James Taylor, which he was a badass. I mean, but yeah, that's probably one of the ones that, like, I would probably say is probably one of the cooler ones. There's definitely no Fast and Furious in my life, that's for sure, because I was a swing and a miss on every 17 of those.
Has 2-lane blacktop come up yet?
We've talked about it, I think, one other time. I know that's one of your favorites.
It is.
Yeah.
That is a badass.
Dude, back in the day where, like I said, that was like my generation where they, you had a 50 series tire. Now a 50 series, like this, but back in the day, man, you had some, back then US Indies and, big slotted holes and all that shit. And they're about that thick. You couldn't even get a lug nut through them.
Yeah. Here in Chicago, I refuse to watch that during like the winter months because I get so fucking jazzed up.
You want to get out and
I
drive.
want to go out. Yeah. So I'll wait till like spring or summer.
So you can go out and burn some tires.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice that you've ever received?
I think it's nice to be important and more important to be nice. And I think that that's something that I know that sounds corny as F, but the truth is, honestly, I have that sign over my building and over my door. And there's people that challenge me all day with, sometimes we don't all know what people are going through in their lives, and people will call me and they're all kind of out of shape. And I'm trying to be as kind as I can, to be as nice as I can. So sometimes I have to read that. And that's something that I couldn't even tell you who told me that, but it's something I picked up, and it's something that really it's simple,
I like that.
That is good.
It is simple, but it means a lot. What is in your pockets right now?
I got some keys and a couple of these badass chips.
Nice.
We got to figure out we got to bring something badass to get one of those chips. I kind of want one of those now.
I got you.
Yeah.
We always make more, so we got a couple stashes.
No, we want to earn it. We don't want a freebie. We want to earn it.
Well, get your square body done.
Listen, you guys bring badass shit out. It's not really hard to earn that. You know what I mean? So
I got a curveball. I'm gonna throw one more out there.
What do you got?
You've had a bunch of cool ass trucks and cars. Is there one thing that's on the bucket list that's one day you will have that you have not had? What's the holy grail? What's the white whale?
And I would say that anything in the 60 to 66 range, I've done lifted trucks. I've done pre-runner trucks, crew cabs, all that kind of stuff, which I really enjoyed. I did build a crew cab, a single cab truck that was that green and white truck that I have pull my dually. If I could have and do that truck again in black, that would be that I would like to build that truck again. Now it's been replicated and duplicated, and that's always nice when people like your style and want to build this thing. But I would definitely like to have a 64 single cab, big window, dually that's black with trim.
So the same truck you've had, you just want to change it to black.
I just want it black and like actually painted.
Yeah.
Who figured?
Do you still have the beige Suburban?
No, I sold that. It was weird. I built that truck, and sometimes I've been lucky that some people like the style, and that truck, I drove it twice and I sold it.
It was weird. Showed up like a few times, and then I haven't seen it in a couple of years.
Yeah. It was weird. Like all the stuff in the backdrop, you could see. Sometimes, and I mean this in the most humblest way, I forget some of the stuff, how many cars. And back then, you got to remember that when this first started, I was buying trucks for $500 and $600. now where people are like, they lost their mind. I need $8,000 for this truck that's, Swiss cheese. I'm like, nah, we're good. So
If I've got a vision coming to me now. I know we do some taking shots every now and then. Have you you've been a GM guy through and through, even on like late model daily driver stuff, right? Obviously.
Guilty pleasure, you think?
Have you have you ever owned, there's two that I'm going with, but the first one is the Silverado SS. You remember the Silverado SS with the
Kyle had one.
Have you ever owned one?
I have a brand new 2022 Silverado that I lowered on 24s, and super in love with that.
Any Trailblazer SS?
No, but I would love. That was another one too. And the truth is, I gotta tell you something. Sometimes I'm a little bit of a dumbass. I didn't realize those had such a bullet in them. And we have a Z06 big body Corvette. And honestly, I don't drive it much because I'm not that good a driver. I drive way over my head. You know what I mean? And I don't want to. I have a good time. Don't get me wrong. And if I get a chance to show off, oh my God, dude. But so that's Terry's car, and it's got a little special driveway. I have a little tiny house in Central Phoenix. It's crazy. Like you could literally get a drink of water from laying in bed. You'd be like, hey, here you go, babe. I got you. You know what I mean? It's perfect. We don't even have remote controls in our house. You just push the TV. It's nuts. Chris, lovely. I have a big old garage for my small area, and I got them packed in there. So I think my neighbors think I'm a drug dealer sometimes. They're like, I really do. But they try to them off all the time.
Man, have you seen that guy? He's big, tattooed.
Comes out with his robe. Yeah. What do you think?
He says he's an appliance repair.
Yeah, he talks with his hands. And he's pushing a cop over. I mean, that dude's a badass. He's a shot caller.
I'm starting to wonder myself.
Then you just tame cats just follow him.
Yeah. What do you think he's 62 now? So what do you think he just talked about his badass stereo in that panel. What do you think he's bumping to when he's going out on a Friday night with Terry? What is he bumping in that stereo?
Hey, I have a theme song. You guys must not have heard me then, because
do your homework, guys.
We didn't. We don't. We try. We don't do any homework for any of these things. These things just come. It wouldn't be any fun then. It's just this is an actual legit conversation.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's got to be a throwback. I'd have a hard time believing it's current.
And I'm from the disco area, man. So you remember, I used to look like Danny Terry. You guys don't even know what that is, but.
It's like Bee Gees era?
Like Cool in the Gang?
Yeah, I had some of that. Yeah, a little John Travolta, but I'm mostly it's so funny. I bumped some of the weirdest stuff. Like I have the Commodores, the Brick House is like one of my favorite songs. Right. And I'll do a little Michael Jackson PYT, which is
first thing came to mind with me was two things.
I was saying Cool in the Gang.
Either Hall and Oates. or just he gets out on kind of.
You said Hall and Oates. You don't bump Hall and Oates.
I don't think it's physically possible.
He gets out on an open road and it's a little Bob Seger. Maybe.
I can see Bob Seger.
I bump Hall and Oates. You guys run over and slap me right. You're like, what? Oh my God.
No, I was thinking Sugar Hill Gang or something. Yeah. I was thinking early hip hop. Rapper's Delight. Yeah.
There's some Nucleus in there. Jam on it. Yeah, I have some. Poor Terry has to, we're so old school that I still have an iPod that you plug in. It has a playlist. And then when you're driving, I can't see it. So I just keep hitting the same.
What about a little Funkadelic?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. There's just some.
George Clinton.
Yeah.
Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah. I could see that. All right.
I haven't heard them in 15 years, probably.
That's a jam too. Man, there's so much musical talent in there. It's just like a circus. Yeah.
When I roll by you guys over there, I'm going to be playing some Hall and Oates. You'll be like, that's that Dino dude.
I told you.
You knew it. You knew it.
I told you fuckers.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh, man, you need to come out to Chicago and come see us sometime.
I'd love to, man. Honestly, I need to something that's one of the things that it's been nice. We're starting to slow life down now. And my kids are, doing a good job at the shop. So it's time, this year we're having a lot of fun. We're going to go back to the Triple Crown this year with Gary Case. And
we'll be down there.
who doesn't love Gary Case? And I mean, and so
Everybody loves Gary Case.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
who doesn't he know? I mean, you know, he's literally. I got to tell you one fun story about Gary Case real quick. So at the Get Down, very first one, Boris comes in. Me and Boris meet each other over the internet, and we're trading cars. We're kind of the same blood coursing through our veins, and we trade some cars back and forth. And so at the time, I didn't know anything really about Gary Case. So they come out to the event and I think they came out early, and I was trying to get my truck done. I was working on my orange Suburban, and you know, I'm trying to get this door adjusted, and I can't not adjust this door. So they come in my backyard, and I got a really cool grown man Chuck E. Cheese in the backyard, dude. It's just like, it's got so much eclectic weird shit that I've covered over the years, and hot rod art and naked chicks and all that stuff. It's just cool. I love it. And Gary comes in, and he's dressed nice from just getting out of the airport. And Boris comes up, and I'm on the ground, and I'm trying to get this door adjusted. And then I meet Gary, and I go, man, I can't get this door adjusted. Gary gets on the ground in like his airplane clothes, looking sharp, and just adjusts my door for me. He goes, no, here, bam, and he closes the door. I go, Jesus. And, you know, it was just one of those things that, you know, he just that dude, you know, like, and I've met him. I probably talked to him a couple times a week. He's a serious mentor for me too, as far as like, he's just a great think tank, you know, a source of just good information. Like, that's the reason why I said I could call Gary. Gary knows everybody. He's got everybody's, you know, he knows everybody, but I don't want to use that resource. I want to earn it. You know, like, I want people to say, like, we got Summit to come out this year, you know, and Summit heard it, but they need to be out here. I didn't call Gary to call somebody to say, call that guy. Yep. You know, that Summit reached out to us. And I like that, because I want people to say, hey, we're earning it. And it's not because I know somebody. You know what I mean?
That means a lot. We'll have to hang out. We're going to see you down there at the Triple Crown for sure. We'll be down there. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Real quick, what are the dates for the Get Down this year?
10th and 11th of November. And then so we shortened up the hours because we were, I mean, honestly, the vendors like, Dino, we love this, but this is too long. So we used to go 9 to 9 because we used to have it after 5. So now we're going to go 9 to 7. And just for a secret for everybody, we actually open the gate at 7. Because we say
it's
9
not
o'clock.
A secret anymore.
And here's the truth is, I hope not. I hope people show up. But at the same time, and then on Saturday, it's 9 to 3. And then anything on GM, anything on Saturday, unless you're a Bumblebee Camaro.
Now we're gonna
with suicide doors.
We'll try to get everybody out there. Maybe we'll do it as a group event. Get us out there and come check it out.
For sure.
Appreciate it, Dino. It's been awesome.
Dude.
Hey, dude, you guys, I'm sorry. I told you I can yap like with the best of them.
It's been great.
No, I mean, the truth is I'm humbled by this. I tell you that I got to be on Ronnie's podcast, and Ronnie, I didn't even know what a podcast was. Like I said, I'm just such a relic. And he kept jocking me about, you got to be on my podcast. And you got to remember, this is like 12 years ago or something. I didn't even know what a podcast was. I honestly didn't know what he was talking about. But then he came over and put the mic up, and we talked for 3 hours, and we had the microphone on.
Have we been recording, John?
We may have been recording. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
we haven't fucked
Anyways,
that one up yet.
I'm humbled, and I'm also honored. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Big fans of you guys.
See you soon.
And I think so too. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thanks.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother. See ya.
Right.
Later, dude.
Take a picture, you guys.
Take it.
Is Terry's first name actually Poor? I feel like the entire podcast, it was Poor Terry.
Poor Terry.
Poor Terry.
Poor Terry.
Listen, I don't know if you guys know that, but you could look at Terry's Instagram, the ISBB Pro. She's actually a huge world champion of bikini pro.
Really?
Nice.
Terry's 60, which she's like brand new. Matter of fact, people always go,
He said brand new.
She's like brand new.
people are like, who's your dad? I'm like, motherfucker, what? I'm like, I keep lifting weights because I'm like scared, you know. But no, you look up her site, and she won everything in the Masters division. I mean, they just started making trophies look like Terry. So
Nice.
Congratulate. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And you
All right,
put
you
up with him all day long. That's
Oh my
All right.
God.
He's the easy
super
part.
high
Good luck.
pain threshold.
He's working hard on keeping the cats down. I'm surprised you guys didn't ask him about his cats. He's got a whole feral cat community.
Yeah, we try to stay away from that because I recently purchased a cat and they give me hell.
Yeah.
So I avoid cat
Jeremy didn't want to go
conversations.
down that path because it was going to end up being bad for him if we did.
You know what's
Why don't
funny
you tell
about
him?
it?
Tell him what you think about
Does
cats.
your cat need a friend?
Every vendor that
Yeah.
to get down, we give them a free cat. So we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring him back. You guys can get some cats.
No,
You
He
cat.
tried.
I'm good.
Cat for you.
He got a cat. He didn't tell anybody. Then he kind of eased into it. Yeah, we got a mouse problem, so we got a cat to get rid of the mouse problem.
It's the
Yeah,
truth.
most people hire an exterminator.
We did. It didn't work. Fucking cat crushed.
It's no big deal. It's a killer cat. I mean, I hired it. It's super
Totally.
expensive.
It
It's
is,
not
dude. It's a
As
fucking
we're
killer.
talking right now, there's literally cats hitchhiking to my house. They're like, we have no less than 30 and no more than 51 outside
Ooh.
cats.
They're not ours, but
They're feral
they became
community.
ours. So we just keep putting out food. We catch, we neuter, we release them in our yard, and then they just stay.
It is, and kind of our yard's like Bloods and Crips. So the cats in the front yard don't like the cats in the backyard. So like, fuck you doing here, essay? And they're like, "What the fuck
Fuck in the backyard, Holmes.
Yeah, we have a little bit of that. Yeah, some of them were cholos, but but the truth is like
Arizona
we
thing.
had a huge rat problem, dude. In Central Phoenix, we have citrus, and boy, those cats would just went ham on those. So I'd rather
People
have
do.
cats than rats. So we're good.
Yeah,
so
we seriously had a mouse brother. This cat's a fucking savage. It just
we might be stretching the truth a little
it
bit.
fucks them up. It fucks up the mice.
It has killed
Yeah.
meese.
Yes,
It's killed
plural.
more
the nice thing about a cat, when he wants to earn it, he'll leave you half of the cat, half of the mouse. To
Oh
be like,
yeah,
what do you think, man? Pretty
yeah.
good, huh?
He comes up in the kid. He's like whipping this mouse around. And he
Yeah.
does other things.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I appreciate it, Dino. It's been
All right,
awesome.
thanks again, you
later,
guys.
guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Take care, man.
Right, meeting
Bye.
you.
Nice meeting you. Big thanks again to Dino. Remember, you can keep up with Dino by following him on Instagram at Dino's Chevy Only. And we don't have anything else.
Wow, that's-
Bourbon
that-
review.
That is it. Oh, we do. We should do bourbon
We
review
do.
'cause we got a good one.
All right.
We're editing that part out.
That part will be edited
Yeah,
out.
because
Before we go, it's time for a whiskey review.
Mhm.
What are we drinking tonight, fellas? I know what we're drinking.
Phil brought this?
That's
You,
a
Phil,
loaded
you
question.
procured this?
I
Unit?
procured it. Yeah. Little Calumet small batch.
What?
Huh? What?
What?
Calumet small batch, a blend of the 15 and the 8-year-old. That was actually coming from your recommendation. I had to text both you when I was
Yeah.
at the liquor store to see which is the one.
As Kyle would say, that right there is a unit. of
Slaps.
bourbon. That
Yeah.
thing, that is fire.
It bangs.
Yeah. It yeets. You can yeet that bourbon.
Like
We should have
right into your
stopped
glass.
before we got there.
We got a bunch of 15-year-olds over here.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I have
really,
this one.
Really good bourbon.
It's a very, very good one.
I've got the 15-year and then the 10-year, and really liked both of them, and recommended this one. Had to pick it up. Big fan. I think this might be smoother than both. A little bit better
Smooth.
flavor.
A little
kinda
lower
mellows
proof.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, I've been super happy with everything they've come out with.
We haven't missed on the Calumet lineup yet.
Nope.
It at a glance, you look at it and you're like, is this gimmicky? Because they've got like a 14, a 15, a 10, and they've got the blend of the 15, the 8. So you're like, that's a lot of that's a lot of
years.
things.
Yeah.
All old whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the few that's on the shelf that has like an actual age statement, that seems kind of rare these days.
Yeah,
Everybody's so quick to yank something out of the barrel and put it in a fancy bottle and throw it on the shelf. But this is good stuff.
This should put it right. It's a little lower proof, but it should put it right there in that age statement that we like. I mean, we are 12-year.
Right.
You generally everything 12 years kind of where we like to be at. I mean, I can't do math really good, but
That's an
Yeah, you
average.
take the
between 8 and
average.
15, that's,
Yeah, you're somewhere right in there.
yeah, right there at
Ish.
a 5 and 2.
Who's gonna rate it?
Carry
It's a buy it. Right. It's a buy it, hands down.
Absolutely.
That's a buy it. And
That's
if
a
there's
seek it
two,
out.
yeah, if there's two, buy the second one so you don't feel guilty drinking the first and crushing it.
I did that with the 10-year because I was worried I wasn't going to find it again, and then I bought 2 of these as well.
These seem to come in spurts.
Yeah, you
It's
can find it and then
right,
not.
it's either there or it's not, but it's obtainable.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a.
This is rare. You drop in the first review. I feel like you
Yeah.
kind of sit there
Yeah,
and wait.
he lingers in the background.
No, I'll
Make
give
sure
it the
he's-
first
he's
review.
Giving an
I give it the
accurate
first. No, actually, that's incorrect. I've given first review a lot of times, and then you shit on my review.
Get out of here, dude. When have I ever shat
When-
on anything that you've said?
Every single day that we've known each other.
Every day.
From the
How long-
beginning.
how long have we known each other?
12, 13 years.
How many times per day?
More than one. You're talking
It's
about
an accurate
thousands of
statement.
Hey,
times.
agree to disagree. Let's move on to the bourbon review.
I think it's going to be oh man, torn between a 7, a 7 to 7.1.
So I was going 7.
Yeah.
Good solid number. Solid
Yeah.
bourbon.
It is. I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go 7.1.
Just make it a little fancier.
Maybe a little fancier. Phil, you're going 7.0.
I'm going 7.2. I think I like it a little.
Oh,
I just feel like I like it a little more than you guys.
just
Just a little bit.
I
Like a 0.1 more
Dude.
than both of you guys.
I respect that
Yeah.
review.
Yeah.
I really do.
Solid
Yeah,
review.
good reasoning.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So you like it 0.1
You liked it
more.
at 7.1, and
Right.
I knew that I
just
could
needed to
see it
show
on
you
your
that
face.
I like it a little more.
And I liked it a little more. Right. So take my recommendation and get a bottle
It's a
because
good
I
one.
like it.
It really
It's
is a good one. The 15 and 18-year-old is one that you don't find as much as the other. It has been a little more
Yeah.
elusive.
Yep.
The straight 15-year and 14 years at a lot of the grocery stores and liquor stores.
Mhm.
10 years hit or miss. And yeah, that was only the second time I think I've seen it.
What was the one we saw? Wasn't it a 16-year that we saw the other day?
Yeah.
'Cause it was, yeah. I don't know anything. I haven't had that one.
That was the 15-year that didn't sell. They rebottled it.
Yeah, now it's a year
Yeah.
older.
Another good looking bottle on the shelf too.
It
Put it
is.
in the collection. It's got a little bit of that happy look. Same bottle shape, gold on the. It got that classic look.
Yeah, my favorite part is the 2 horses.
Hmm.
It's got 2 horses on the bottle.
Look at that. You
Yeah,
like that? Huh?
there
You
they
like the
are.
horse?
I do.
What is it about the horses that you like?
I just like looking at them.
Yeah.
Makes me think of funny stories about horses.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Oil and Whiskey with the Roadster Shop, an Ironclad original. If you like the show, be sure to leave a rating and review. Make sure to subscribe. Check out our brand new YouTube page. It's all about oil and whiskey. That's only oil and whiskey podcast episodes. Thanks again to our guest, Dino Battilana. We'll see you again next week.